I realize that there are certain men out there who prey on single mothers. And there are certain men out there who prey on single mothers for the same reason that they tell other men to not date single mothers. Let me explain. Okay, so in my opinion, the reason why there are some men out there who downplay single mothers and talk negative about single mothers is because they can't come up to a single mother's level. Because the men who are down talking single mothers are the ones who can't level up, the ones who have potential and they can't see it for themselves, the one who have 4, 5, 6 baby mothers and kids, the ones who live with their mothers, the one who have no check-ins, no savings, no CDs, no bonds, no accounts, no nothing, no education, communication, absolutely nothing. They offer nothing to women. But in order to be with a woman, such as a single mother, they have to downplay a single mother to make the single mother feel as if this is all they can get. That they have to accept the bullshit that men are giving to us. Because let's think about it for a minute. Me being a single mother, I am handling shit by myself. I take care of my household by myself, my bills by myself, my son by myself. I do it all by myself. So if I get a man who cannot level up to my level, who is not independent, who is always looking for people to depend on them, that man has to downplay my lifestyle of living, of being a single mother, so they can be glorified in my eyes. So I say all that to say this to the single mothers out there who are attempting to date in this bullshit we call a dating pool. Never let your singleness make you lonely to the point where you become desperate and you accept the bullshit that these men are giving out to us. You are not the bottom of the barrel. You are not lower than. You do deserve love. And look at the source that's saying this mess and just laugh.
Huh.
Oh no, she had to take her own advice.
May I say something?
She had to take
Yeah,
her
Oh,
I
own
gotta
advice.
say something. I wish she would elaborate further. What is her quote unquote level? Because everything she's talking about is what adults have been doing since the dawn of time. What is your level? Like, what type of men needs to be on your level to date you? A woman with a kid that we know nothing about your child's father, because those standards wasn't there before you got pregnant by him.
I agree, 1000%. I don't know why single moms come on here and say they need a man on their level when literally you have like one of the worst struggles known to mankind. So your level
come
is
on.
probably way down here. I'm just, I'm just saying.
You're right.
They don't
I
see
think
that's the problem right there, Pink Pill. The biggest disconnect. These post sisters, these single moms by choice, they don't realize that that has to be not one of the, but has to be the toughest struggle to enter to, especially voluntarily. Like, and they do it with pride. That's like saying, you know what, I'm gonna just give up all my resources and belongings and go ahead and struggle it out in the wilderness with this child, and I'm just gonna do it just for the thrill of it all. That's what it seems like. Like, I want, this is the thing, I want nothing. It's all
And,
documented. When this is
and
all
then
said and
she's
done, 10, 15 years down, it ain't gonna take long. Yeah, this is gonna materialize very quickly. 5, 10, at max 15 years down the line, it's gonna come to a head, and the mental health of these single moms is gonna continue to decline, and it's gonna be recognized as an epidemic if it already hasn't been.
and then
pandemic.
she lacks accountability for sure because I'm a firm believer in you are what you attract. When
Correct.
I was like the stereotypical modern woman, I attracted very terrible men. But when I paused and did the work that I needed to do to change, now I attract what I want because I bring value to a
Amen.
man besides my body and all of that. So yeah.
Perfect.
Well,
Perfect.
I kind of agree. I kind of agree with her. This of the young lady, and I agree with her to the point where I don't even care. I'm not talking about Pink Pill. I'm talking about the lady from the video. I kind of agree with her a little bit, and the reason why I agree with is their level of delusion is you just treat them like children that are just like having a tantrum in a corner. Like, okay, yeah, you're right, fine, no problem, whatever. I mean, that's how you got to really treat them. It's sad you just can't treat them as individuals who have an opinion and they bring something to the table. They just bring a bunch of delusion and chaos.
Do certain men prey on single moms? I want to ask you that.
No, that 20%. That 20%.
I want to get
I
y'all
mean, how am I supposed to know? I have no idea. I mean, I can see it possible, but if they are preying on single moms, I don't think it's for a long-term
No.
relationship. I just
Mm-mm.
think it's just for the moment and nothing serious. But I don't know young men who really are
Well,
wanting
she's saying there's certain, so she's saying like there's a prototype of man
She did
at
say that.
Nug
Mhm.
that preys on these type of women.
There is.
Yes.
There
Yes, there
I
is.
don't doubt it.
Yeah.
There is.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
then
My
prey on
mom,
them.
my mom is a single mom, and she attracted literally the worst kind of men that are predatory on children, men that don't like to work, men that like to do drugs. And she kept on attracting that same type of man up until I moved out of her house. And now she's with a man that is married. I'm not talking about my mom, but the facts are the facts. She's not exempt from getting exposed.
Right. I mean, I believe I listened to the lady, and the everything I think she said was the truth, except that the way she thinks she deserves what she does or what she gets. No, you had 2 children or you had children out of wedlock. That does knock you down a couple pegs in the dating market. That knocks you down. But you do deserve love like every other person on this planet deserves love. I believe that. But I don't believe you should be going around saying that these people are less than you and you're the one who made the mistake and had the child out of
No one
wedlock.
deserves anything.
Are you
No one
fit for
deserves
love though? You don't
Granted,
deserve it.
granted, you're right about that, Mr. Walker. No one deserves anything it's earned, but I will agree with what HQ said. When you're
Right.
going around acting like you're better than everyone,
Right.
that's when it goes off the rail. I do agree with that.
And you made the mistake. You made the mistake of having children before you got married. That was your fatal mistake. You deserve love, but you made a mistake by doing what you did. I agree with what she
No one
said.
deserves anything.
But listen to the guy she's describing. No bank account, no car, no house, no job, no drawers, no shoes. Why are you even entertaining a guy like that past a phone call? You go on the first day and this guy doesn't even have a debit card in his wallet. He just has cash. Why is that going into dating and being in a relationship? They have no vetting process. And that's the same guy that knocks them up. They ask for Mr. 1%. Then this is the guy she's entertaining. He's going to have none of these things. He's going to have cash out for a bank, and he's still going to be able to knock her up and give her third kid and be her third baby daddy. Makes no
That's
sense.
her level. That's her level that she's talking about, and she doesn't even know it.
Like, come on, bro.
It's
How is
he
she
and Queen.
delusional? How are they delusional? You say that women are delusional because they ask for the 666, yet and still they entertain the scum of the earth.
I'll answer that question.
Go
because
ahead.
Why are they entertaining the scum of the earth if they think they're getting the 666?
Because they don't know how to negotiate. It's like playing blackjack. They either want Mr. 1% or bust. They get nobody in between. They overlook the average guy making $45K a year. So
but they deal with nug though. I'm confused.
If you're playing blackjack and then you got 20 out of 21, why would you ask the dealer to deal another card? So they'll overlook Mr. 45K and then they'll come up to 6 figures, don't qualify, and then the good guy who puts on a uniform, who's educated, who's making an honest living, totally overlook him for Mr. 1%, don't get Mr. 1%, and then get Nug who got no bank account, no.
But we get all that. We get that she dreams of the man with the 666.
Okay.
But she ends up with Nug. How do you explain?
Who's
where's
talking
the
about?
delusion at? I'm confused. If you settle for Nug, you end up with Nug, but you dream of the 666. Where is she going wrong? All of us dream.
Because she's crying, blaming men for not wanting her. The same men that don't qualify for her, she don't qualify for the man that she wants. Now she's on the internet crying like it's the man's fault.
She knows she don't qualify for the man that she wants. That don't mean she can't dream about the man that she wants. You know you don't qualify for Gabrielle Union, but you dream about Gabrielle Union.
Exactly. I dream about putting peanut butter all over Gabrielle Union, but when I wake up, it's just my hand.
So
but that's my observant reality when it's talking about Gabrielle Union.
Right. So why is it that she can't dream about 666? You ain't gonna get it. But you can dream about whatever
You
you
can,
want.
but just don't complain. Take it out.
Well, HQ, let me say this. HQ,
Right.
it's okay to dream, right? But at the same time, you have to look at your absorbent reality. You don't want to get to the point where you get too old where you can't attract anybody no more. Vivica, but go ahead.
You wrong for that. But but I'm saying that women, most of us fall into reality. Most of us do. It's usually the pool that is around us that we got to look in, and then we might find the person that we're looking for, right? Most people say you dream about, look, I dream about Denzel Washington, but it ain't never gonna happen.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, and I'll get on a dating site and I'll tell you that's what I want. 6 Denzel Washington, blah, blah, blah. But it ain't gonna never come to me.
Right.
So I accept what I come to me.
It's just like a man that I know. He says, I want a woman with thin ankles, but when I wake up, there go my wife.
Yo.
I'm going to the gym first thing in the morning. You guys are hardcore.
But that's the thing. You could dream about what
So
you
I'm
want.
just saying, how do we make them stop dreaming? You can't make a person stop dreaming.
I don't care.
Reality will hit them in the face.
As long as it's not my brother, my sister, my cousin, I don't care. Go be a bum creature if you want.
But Heathen Queen, when the guys go on the Kendra show, they don't go on Kendra's show and they don't say, I'm looking for a 24, 36. You know, they don't get up there, they don't do that. The women are the ones that get up there and say, I want 6 feet, 6 figures, you know, and it's always the same template. And I look, tall men are, wow, you know, I find them very attractive, but my husband is not 6 feet, you know, and I'm very happy. I feel very,
well, my husband wasn't 6 feet either. My husband was 5'8". I'm 5'9.5".
Right.
So I mean, everything that a woman said she wanted, my husband was not. Right.
It just seems that when women go on Kendra's show, they are less willing to bend or be flexible with what they say their standards are. Right. And when guys come on the show, they're very realistic. You know, when they say, well, you know, I would like a woman, you know.
But maybe if we look at it like this, what if you look at it like this? Women have that emotionality component where we dream more, where we live in a more of I want to say a fantasy world, as opposed to a man who is logical, who thinks with facts and does this. He has a certain market. He has a range of women. It's this. Oh, okay, I can go here or here. Women are all mostly specific, and it's like a dreamlike thing. So that's the way I look at it. I look at it. Men are logical, and they got facts, and us women deal in emotionality, and we deal in more fantasy. So
that's not an excuse, and it's not a good excuse either. Because at the end of the day, the world isn't gonna understand that. They're not gonna care,
right?
That you're emotional.
But the whole point is, women are emotional, more emotional than men, and so we deal in fantasy. We deal in what ifs and blah blah blah. Men deal in what fact is.
But also, you like to deal with possibility more than probability. It's also possible. Me, for example, I'm a woman who is very emotional, but I also know how to think logically when it comes to a lot of things too. And as far as dating, I'm definitely logical about who it is that I qualify to date for.
You know what, Heathen Queen?
I'm not.
So, you know, Heathen Queen, I'm going to agree with you on one thing you said on the last show. Do you remember that girl named Earliest that Mr. Walker and Gavin did? She was a model.
The light-skinned girl?
Yes, that girl was a complete LA8. She was a complete LA. Right. She was gorgeous. Right. Now, she had one kid out of wedlock, but the problem with her is she's going about it wrong, which Kendra did tell her. I live out in LA just like Kendra and this young lady. She knows if you want to get or ingratiate herself around those men, you need to put yourself in the position. Doing this online, there's millions of women that's trying to get to those men, and that's the long route. She's in the place where she can get with those men. And I will give you credit. There's a strong possibility she could get those men. I'm going to tell you why. I'll give you one name, Vivi Stiviano Donald Sterling. That woman had 2 kids out of wedlock. You want to know how she got into and graced herself with those men like Donald Sterling? She had a friend that brought her to the places where they navigate at. That's where she's messing up. I think she has a good shot. But the problem is she will never be the primary wife, but she will be an executive wife. You'll give her everything she wants, but she will never be the primary. But she got to learn how to play that position if that's what she wants to be. Problem with Vivi Stiviano, Sterling's handed her butthole. And after they lost the Clippers, they got $7.6 billion after that. And he's still dating black women, calling us the N-word.
But the thing is with Mr. Sterling, for every one woman that hits the jackpot, there's a million Bonquishas. That's why she's on Kendra's show begging for a man that she don't qualify.
I agree with you. What I'm saying is she was beautiful. She could have. What I'm saying is she didn't put herself.
She's beautiful.
What
are we talking about marriage and committing to a woman and dying for?
Well, I actually
raising kids. Or are we talking about?
Well, Solomon, I proved all that. That's why I said she can get those men, but she will never be a primary wife to those men. She'll be what they call an executive wife. Kevin talked about this. They do exist.
She won't even be an executive wife. Her attitude is nasty. I would not want her around me. She's draining my energy. She does not.
Are we talking about the late? Or are we talking about the really light-skinned one?
Yes, yep. She's called.
Oh, okay.
Weekends only. She's not even qualified for the executive wife. Side piece.
You're right. Her mouth can't lead her out of it. That's true.
You'll find her online on World Star in the back of a U-Haul with 8 other women chasing these parties where all these men are at, trying to find some guy to pick them up for every gaming season.
That's funny.
Videos online. Open up the U-Haul, 20 women out there. They all looking for the same parties, all looking for the same men.
Yeah, but she would have, but she is closer than a lot of other women to that dream and that possibility.
According to who?
Well, I'll give you an example, Solomon. Kevin, before Mr. Samuels, before he died, he had a woman that was just as beautiful as her on his show one time.
Right.
He said, but he told her, just because you had that kid, you won't go further than the wife. He said, oh yeah, she told Mr. Samuels her measurements, her height and weight and everything. He said, oh yeah, hell yeah, I'll take you out to a lobster dinner at Maestro's. He said, I will date you, and when I get home, I will obliterate your entire backside, but I will not marry you.
Yes, but these women are not talking about being side pieces. They're talking about
but it's the numbers game. It's a numbers game with these women. It's a numbers game. The more men you're in front of, the possibilities become better, right? If I go into a room and it's only 10 men, I might get 1 man to look at me, right? But if I go on Kendra G's show, I might get 1,000 men to look at me. And then
not those men.
Choices.
But
you know what I'm saying? It's a numbers game.
What I'm saying is she has a less chance of Kendra because she opened her mouth. At the club, it's dark. All I see is her beauty. The minute she opens her mouth, she's disqualified. The minute you start demanding that high amount of income, you're disqualified. The minute you feel entitled to my money when you haven't done shit for me to earn it, you're disqualified. So I wouldn't even talk to her. Even though she's attractive and she looks good, I would not even mess with her because of her nasty attitude and her demeanor and her entitlement. I'd rather get a same woman who's 22 years old, fresh out of college, fresh out of master's, 22, 24, who doesn't look as good, but is more pleasant to be around, and she will win.
And yeah, I'm not disagreeing with you, Solomon. Those women are usually the winners in this whole situation. I'm just saying she had somewhat of a shot, and her mouth couldn't ruin it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
but let's take the scenario a different way. What if she was attractive, she was soft-spoken, she was ultra feminine, she could have went a long way down the line.
Yes, but they're almost never that way. They're almost never humble. They're entitled. They need men on their level. They think that the men they're looking for don't care about their income.
Well,
I don't give a damn about that.
Well, Solomon, let me throw this at you. And I had a conversation about Vivica's situation. I said, you want to know why Vivica's struggling? It's not because of her age. There's a difference between her class and how she presents herself. When we look at Angela Bassett, when we look at the Felicia Rashads or the Lynn Whitfields, they carry themselves with a certain type of class, which what still makes them attractive at their age. Vivica is still acting like she's in her 20s, in her 30s. That's what's killing her right now.
She's dead. She's in no man's.
But that's why those men who she's around all the time, they're not gonna mess with her because of that.
And that's why she's begging her co-host to introduce her to one of their friends so she can try to find a white zaddy simp. That's why she's on TV crying. But she's done. She's dead and gone. She better do what freaking Nicki Minaj does and all them other women do. They better pay for a younger man and support his lifestyle. But they think they're too good for that man and they don't want to do it. But that's the man you qualify for. That's the man on your level.
Her reputation has preceded her of being a bitch.
Thank you. And the reason why I know this, because I know people that know Vivica personally.
Right. And that's the way she comes across in real life?
Yes. She is, man. I don't, you know what? I'm going to just not talk about Vivica. I know this, but I'll leave it alone.
The plastic surgery, all that, that's disgusting. Why would I want that? If I have to take her shopping like she requested, I can do that on a 25-year-old. Why would I pick a woman who's half 100 to do that? I could take her shopping, get a better experience, and it costs me less. Why would I choose Vivica? What's the prize? Nothing.
That's true. So here we go.